Hey guys, it's me, Novi. Just doing a video for you guys today. And I want to kind of do like a fun one for you guys today. And it's like stereotyping Native Americans. Like we've all been like on YouTube and seen like Native guys be like and Native girls be like, okay, well what about how people reflect Native people? And I think it's kind of funny because like I've been to like almost every corner of the United States, and a lot of people think that we're like extinct. I know, crazy, right? They don't think that we're still around, you know, like they think we, you know, kind of disappeared with the dinosaurs, but no, we're still here, you know, we're still here, we're still having powwows and sweats and all that good stuff. And there's a lot of people that think that we still live in teepees, we still ride horses. They don't think that we're allowed to leave the reservation. I know, right? Kind of crazy. But yeah, you know, like you go out. Actually, when I was living in Whiting, we had these people move in next door to us, and they were like, "We've never met a Native American before," and I was just kind of like, "That's kind of crazy," you know, like you live in Texas, you know, you came from Texas, and you know. I think it's because I didn't leave. I didn't ever leave Iowa, so of course, you know, I didn't know anything about any other state, you know. To me, like, being Native American was, like, normal, you know. Like, it's just something that, you know, you just, I guess, put up with or whatever. But, the whole, you know, like, what is that, Tonto and, like, the whole dances with wolves and... hey Victor, and you know, all this crazy stuff that like all these people have like made up about us Native Americans, which is like cool because I don't want, you know, people still going around, you know, like in high school and calling us wagon burners and squaw and just like excuse my language, but prairie nigger. Yeah, I got called that a couple times in high school. And it was just like all these names that, you know, I was called. I was kind of like, that's not me. I don't do that. You know, like closest thing you could probably call me is a squaw, but I never, you know, didn't even know what the definition of a squaw was. I still don't know what definition of a squaw is, because that's kind of like a derogatory term for Native American women, if you actually think about it. I don't know. They do have a thing called a squaw dress that, you know, like we do wear in ceremony sometimes, but you know, it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just something that, you know, they call it. Or whatever. And I think it's funny how like people will just come up with the craziest things, you know, like for us Native Americans. And that's another thing, is that kind of gets on my nerves when people are like, oh, you're Indian. I just look at them like, what? No, I'm not. I'm not Indian. I'm like, I'm Native American. They're like, yeah, it's the same thing. I'm like, no. You know, like maybe back in the day it was okay to call us Indians, but, you know, like for me in this day and age, it's Native American because we are technically native to America. So if you want to call us Indian, that's fine, but you pronounce it Indian. That's how you say it. Don't call us Indian. Say, oh, it's another Indian in it. And it's crazy because, you know, people are like, I had a couple people tell me that I don't even sound native. I'm like, yeah, it's true. I don't have that, you know, like res accent as some people do, but when I get mad, like it'll come out a little bit, like I'll start talking faster or whatever, you know, and it'll come out. Or sometimes I'll be just like joking around, just say some crazy shit, you know, with their like little res accent and shit. But I don't know, I just think it's funny, like the things that people come up with for us Native Americans. And it's crazy because like we all technically, you know, like kind of sound the same, I guess. If you think about it, we all kind of speak the same. You know, we may not use the same terms and language or whatever, but, you know, they all just, I don't know, we all just kind of click. Just how all Mexicans, you know, they just kind of, you know, sound the same, whether they're Guatemalan or Mexican or Hispanic or Latino or Latina, whatever they want to call themselves, you know. That right there is just, don't even want to get into that, but Native Americans... I think that we should, you know, quit fighting and trying to prove that our tribe is better than your tribe, even though we all come from the same tribe, regardless of what state we live in. Like, Wisconsin Winnebagos, or like the rich Indians in Nebraska Winnebagos, which I am, are like the poor people. Which is crazy because, I mean, we all come from, you know, the Nebraska Winnebagos come from the Wisconsin Winnebagos, you know, Ho Chunks, whatever, you know, we're all the same. Um, and I was trying to prove a big point, I just lost it, my bad. um, but, let's see, and I think that, just like here in, like my tribe and Omaha tribe, like, we just don't like each other. Like, some tribes get along, but the Winnebago and Omaha, they just have this little, like, underground rivalry thing going on or whatever. I don't know, like, some Omahas, they're cool as hell, I get along with them, and some of them just kind of like, God, just, you know, like, just take your ass back down to Walt Hill or Macy or wherever the fuck you came from, like, you're just annoying as fuck, you know, stay there, don't ever come back. But, you know, it is what it is, you know, and you deal with it the way you deal with it. But I think that, you know, instead of trying to drag each other down, we need to kind of, like, just work together and just be like, hey, you know what, you're native, I'm native, everybody hates us all the same, you know, might as well just become, you know, friends, whatever, and just, you know, help each other out and shit. You know, instead of trying to say, oh, well, you know, this guy's from Arizona, I'm from Washington, so I'm better, you know, and all this other shit. Nah, you know, like, we're all the same, you know, we're all Native American, we all, you know, we all love powwows, who doesn't love powwows, you know, we all, you know, talk about snagging and hand drums, and, you know, look at that grass dancer shake his booty, and I love watching grass dancers, by the way. I think you guys are the sexiest motherfuckers out there, next to the fancy dancers. And I don't know, like, I just think it's getting ridiculous, like, how people are just still stereotyping us Native Americans, you know. When I was in the Army, it was a lot of, you know, can you get me some peyote, and, you know, like, what is in the peace pipe? It's like, it's tobacco, like, what do you think it is? You know, we don't put weed in it. I don't know, you know, you get in trouble too. And it's all about the vision quest, and, you know, like, hey, Victor, like I mentioned before, and like, some things are true, like, having long hair, you know, is very sacred to us Native American women. I guess to all Native Americans, I guess having long hair is something to be prideful of. I have a picture of when I was in high school. I had hair, like, past my butt, you know, long. And that same day I took those pictures, the same night, I chopped my hair off. I did. Because I was going to the military, like, I think it was like a week or so later, and I just cut it off just so I don't have to deal with it. And I miss it. Like, my hair is not that long right now. Like, I feel like I'm, like, halfway bald because of this. But I did cut it because my grandmother did pass away a year ago in October, so, like, Halloween time. So I'm growing it out. I don't really want to cut it anymore, besides the trim, to keep it looking healthy and whatnot. But yeah, there are certain things that are true about us Native Americans, but a lot of it is just, you know, like, it's fiction. You know, it's a myth. One thing I do suggest people to do, like, if they, you know, have questions about Native Americans, is to watch that movie Dreamkeeper, because that's a really good movie. I love that movie. I had it, but I gave it to my sister, so she has it, and I don't know, I think they probably watch it, like, almost, like, every other week or something, who knows. But I'm trying to find that movie again and I have to get it back on, I got mine off of Amazon.com. It's a good place. You need to go to that website. You can find almost anything on that website. Or, eBay, I guess. Or go to FYE, I guess. Go there and try to find these movies. But, Amazon.com is a place to, you know, kind of like the Walmart of all, you know, websites and whatnot. But yeah, that's my favorite movie, you know, and, Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. That was a good movie too. I loved that movie. That movie was fucking fantastic. I had that movie, and it's also with my movies that my sister has, that I kind of just left for her to watch out, or to watch, I guess. And there's a series of, like, powwow trail of, like, different dances. If people want to know about that, you know, they can go on Amazon.com and get that too, or go to allnative.com. You can find it there too. The closest store to us would be down in Winnebago, Nebraska, because they have one down there. I don't know. I think that if people do approach you and ask you those questions, you know, like, to me, you can be an asshole like I am and just, like, laugh at them and just say, oh, you poor thing, here, let me help you. You know, make them feel like a dumbass. Or you could be like, look, you know, like, this is the lowdown on everything, you know. Everything you think you know about us, throw it out the fucking window, because you don't. It's not correct. I don't know, and, what else? Oh, this is the point I was trying to make. Being half-breeds and quarter blood and, you know, whose family you're from and all this stuff, that shit, we got to get that shit squashed out now, because that is just getting ridiculous. That's what I want to talk about. I think that as Native American people, we shouldn't just worry about, okay, whose family is from who and how they're better than each other. Okay, we're all Native American. We all come from the same tribe. We all come from the same whatever. Knock that shit off. Okay, don't be saying, oh, well, they're from this family, so they're bad. No, they're not bad. Okay, they might have been raised a little wrong, but they ain't bad. Okay, they might need, you know, to go to sweat more than other people do, or might go to Sundance and pierce lip it more often than everybody else does. But seriously, that shit, like, gets on my nerves. I'm like, okay, so just because, you know, they're from this family, what, they think they got the right to talk down to me? No, honey, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit more educated than you. You know, like, that shit's gotta fucking stop, for real, okay? And, that's what I was talking about. It's like with the whole Omaha Winnebago thing, because we do have people that are more Omaha than Winnebago that are able to stand in line and get the checks that Winnebagos are supposed to get. I noticed that when we got our last stimulus check, is a lot of people were getting mad about that. Okay, well, that's something, you know, we can't help. That's something we got to talk to our tribal council about. Like, we got to remember who we put in those positions. And that's where it falls into, is people thinking, okay, well, they're from this family, so we should vote for them because, you know, their family's really good. Okay, well, their family might be good, but that doesn't mean that person you're voting in a tribal council is going to be good. It could be crooked as hell, he or she, whoever it is. They could be the ones that are fucking everything up. That's why, you know, the Omaha tribe is suffering the way it is, because, you know, they think they were trusting certain people to be in their tribal council, you know, and all this money came up missing. Tough luck, you know. You need to, you know, you gotta remember, you know, look at who you're voting in your tribal council. And something I've learned from my own experience is talk to your elders about how things used to be. Because I had a grandma, my adopted dad's mother, Larry Fiskus is what they called her, but her full name was Lorraine. She was full-blooded Winnebago, and she had all these cool, neat, freaky stories she could have told, but I was too young at the time to really, you know, like, worry about this stuff until, like, it was too late, and she was already, you know, passed on, you know, like, getting buried and stuff. I thought, damn, you know, like, she had all this wisdom and stories and stuff she could have shared with me, and I didn't really care that much until it was too late. Like, we need to teach our, you know, our younger children to respect our elders, you know, and to, like, take how serious keeping our culture alive is. Because once we allow that to die in us, that's not even get passed on to our kids. And if that doesn't get passed on to our kids, you know, it's not gonna survive. You know, we are gonna become extinct. You know, we're not gonna have, well, we'll have powwows, but there'll be more like competition, you know, like just for money and stuff. You know, we won't know how to do sweats properly. We won't know how to do a Sundance properly. Like, we'll be, you know, like, things will just get all messed up and it'll be sad, you know. Like, that'll seriously be, you know, the Trail of Tears, you know, throughout history, is like how we let our culture die. How we let our own languages, you know, die out, you know. Like, we gotta remember, you know, just how important our own, you know, culture is. And we need to get away from, you know, this white man culture. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. And if you think I was out of line by some things I said, you know what? You can make a video and talk shit about me. I really don't care anymore. I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying, like, if you think I stepped out of line by some things I said, well, you know, you can tell me, or you can make a video about how you know, feel that things are being misjudged or misconstrued or whatever. Anyways, this video is getting pretty long, but I will let you guys go, and you guys can let me know what you guys think. All right, bye.